Hello everyone, this is Satvik, and in this video we'll be discussing about some common authentication bypass techniques. So without getting any delay, let's dive into the video. And also guys, if you are new to this channel, so do check out my previous videos as well, and if you find them useful, so do subscribe so that you can view more content like this. And if you want to be part of this channel's community, you can check out the Discord server, and if you want to follow me personally, you can check out my Twitter. All the links are in the description below. So authentication is like let me tell you what authentication is like if you don't know. So authentication is like a challenge, okay, so that in order to access a resource, like for example, take a company which provides you shopping facility, okay, and authentication is used there so that they can do personalized stuff, like they can personally buy some sort of stuff or anything like that. Assume that there is no authentication, so like what happens in the sense, like anyone can order for anyone, like putting cash on delivery and sort of stuff, and it is going to be a huge mess. So authentication, like to give their sort of resource for them, okay, so like if I have if you, for example, I'll take a small example of like Twitter or something like that. Like if you have the credentials of my Twitter account, which you can authenticate properly, you can tweet as me, like you can view content as me, you can tweet as me, like you can do whatever you want. But if you don't have that proper authentication, right, so anyone can do any sort of stuff and there is no security being there. So that is what basics of authentication is like. So that is it. So for example, I'll take a page here. So this is a DVWA page, for example, and these are few techniques you can see. So SQL injection. So let me give you a quick brief. So every website has some sort of connection to the database. So like SQL injection is like you try to like inject into that SQL query. So like everything that you enter, okay, so maybe it's connected to some sort of a database. Like if you take some applications, like some static web applications may not have the database, but some medium to large size applications, like applications to be precise, has some database connected to that. So you can try to manipulate those commands. Like for example, mostly if you know, select, okay, star, okay, from table name like users, where this is a simple command, so where uname equals to something, okay, and password equals to something, okay, and something like that. Okay, so this is basic SQL command, is how an SQL command looks like. So for example, this command I wrote for is like authentication. So whenever you enter a username, it is going to be mentioned here, and whenever you mention a password, it is going to be over here. So this select command fetches the result. Okay, so if the credentials are valid, right, so it is going to fetch some result, at least only one result, because there is only going to be a one user. So based on that, if there is one result displaying out there, that means your authentication is properly done. So that is how basically it happens. Like what happens here is like, so to be precise, it won't be in the double quotes, it will be in the single quotes only. So like you can try to bypass this command, okay, like for example, you can put something like space, or okay, this is a simple one, guys, like one equal to one and colon. So what happens here is like uh you should put colon, one more colon here. So this is the payload that I'm going to use. This is a sample payload, guys. This is not some exquisite what you say complete SQL injection guide. This is a small guide. So for example, like in the username field, I mentioned this. So what happened, I mentioned this. What happens here is like, so how this command reads is like, select star from users where uname equals to, it is closed, so it is empty, okay, or condition is like, you all know, right? So in our condition, any one of the statement, if any one statement is true, then it is going to be true. So one equal to one is always one, and you are ending with some sort of like semicolon, or in MySQL it is going to be minus one, so it is going to be dependent. So if you are closing this, then all this is going to be some sort of a row code. So then how it happens is like, then since it is an OR condition, so you'll be able to log in. So this is like a basic overview, guys, like how this SQL injection happens. Like there are several commands, or this is a simple payload here. There are so many type of payloads like this which you can use, and that is it. And the second one is the cookie manipulation. Like if you go to the application over here, so there is an extension called as cookie manager, so you can install that. So you can see some sort of cookies over here, like PHP session ID or some sort of stuff. So like you can simply analyze this, okay, like you can copy it and you can try to analyze it, okay. Like there is something called as jwt.io. So this cookie is not jwt cookie, okay, so this is like a sample cookie. Like you can try to change the cookie value. Sometimes the cookie may be a hash value, sometimes it may be some sort of base 64. So you try to figure it out, okay, what the cookie is made of, and try to change the cookie in such a way that if you use that cookie, like you can able to log in. So like for example, I got a cookie over here, and for example I did some modifications, and I made a cookie such a way that it is for admin account. And if I simply came over to this application, and if I replace this cookie, and if I do a quick simple reload, then you will be able to log in as that particular user. So cookie manipulation works fine. So like try to understand or try to read, okay. So there are some the cookie analyzers. For example, if you type cookie analyze, I don't personally use that, but there are several cookie analyzers, okay, like cookie checker or cookie scanner. Like it'll try to tell you, okay, what the cookie is made of, or some, it gives you some basic overview. Okay, and JWT tokens is also like some sort of an authentication or authorization token. You can, if you find something like bigger enough, like you can just come over here and just check it. Like you can change here values, like for example the sub is equal to 1, you can change it. You can see based on the stuff you are doing here, it is getting changed. So if, for example, if I put Satvik, you can see the cookie is getting changed over here. So you can use this. This is not cookie, to be precise, like some sort of an authorization thing. But for session management, you can call it as a cookie, simple, like copy it and you can change it over here. And if you do a quick reload or do some sort of stuff, then it is going to be reflected as some other user. So cookie manipulation is one sort of thing. And the second, third one, like this is going to be most useful in the pen testing. Okay, so you can use these techniques for the pen testing or for CTF or for bug bounty wherever it's required. Okay, so the default password is like you'll see mostly in uh, what you say in CTFs. Okay, so for example, there is something called as Jenkins. So Jenkins default password. For example, let us assume you're doing some sort of a pen test or doing some sort of bug bounty, and on some sort of random port, you found some sort of something called as like Jenkins related stuff. So you can see when you install Jenkins, your local machine, the default username is admin, the password gets automatically filled. Sometimes you can see it, so not Jenkins, so nibble block. I remember you can see the like you can go over here and you can see admin and admin. The password may be nibbles, like it may be different. Okay, like for every CMS. Okay, so for like CMS in the sense like content management system, like there are several CMSs over there. Like you can simply search for them, like to check for the default username and password. And trust me, guys, you'll definitely find lucky enough. Okay, you may, if you are really lucky enough, like if there are no proper configurations being done, then you'll definitely you'll be able to log in. So that is one thing. And the second one is the weak password. So weak password, how you can do this is like you can do some sort of like a brute force. So you can do this on real time as well. In the real time, there may be something called as rate limitation. If there are no rate limitations, then brute force will work. So which password word list to use? So you can go over this checklist, or you can go over this rocky.txt. You can go to the checklist. Okay, this is the repository, or you can create your own password word list. It's your choice. You can go to this passwords directory, and you can see like default credentials. For example, you can go to something. You can see even here there are some default credentials like for MySQL, SSH, Telnet, Tomcat, and sort of stuff. So this particular location is going to be definitely useful for this default password section. But for weak passwords, you can come over back. You can see like 500 worst password, some sort of stuff. Sometimes people intend to use same password multiple times. So there is going to be one more thing called as, like for example, if you find an account in real time, to be precise, like go and check over this something called as dehashed. Okay, so when you find some account in the real time, if you're doing some real time bug bounty, so go to this dehash and find out whether any passwords are leaked or not. Sometimes people intend to use the same password multiple times. So if you are really lucky enough, you can get access to that and you can report to that. Okay, so that is it. So that is one of the things. So rate limitation, if there is no proper rate limitation, you can simply brute force. So how to brute force? Like you can use tools like Hydra. Okay, or you can use something like Burp, or you can use something like Zap, or you can build your own tool. Okay, build your own tool, Python tool, for example, Python or Bash or Go. These are only the languages that you basically use to develop tools. So build tool. Okay, so you can do anything, it's fine. So if there is a rate limitation, you cannot do anything. If there is a rate limitation, right? So try to play with the headers. So you will have some sort of headers. So I'll show you an example. For example, if I go to this inspect, if I go to this network section, I'm just showing an example. I don't have my burp open. So this is, for example, this is a request. You can see these are some headers. So you can try to play with those headers. Like you can try to add some sort of random data. Like you can try to find out whether you can bypass that rate limitation or not. So if it's like you may not most of the time, because it is how it is, but you can just give it a try. Okay, that is it. And rate limitation, if there is no rate limitation, you can pretty much look for the weak password. You may be having doubt like, Satvik, you're telling about the weak password, but how the hell do I know the username? So I already made detailed videos on them, like how you can enumerate the username. So you can go and check that out, and it is going to be really helpful. And others, in the sense like sometimes authentication may not always be the username and password. Sometimes it can be like OTP, or sometimes it can be like code based. Okay, so some sort of stuff like that. So OTP, code, or multi-factor authentication, whatever it is. So I already made detailed videos on them. So how you can bypass these OTPs and sort of stuff using burp suit, like response manipulation, no rate limitation, exploitation, sort of stuff. So you can go and check that out. So that is it, guys. Like these are some few basic examples like how authentication bypass can be done. So you can use it for like CTFs. Okay, so CTFs also, these are really useful. And for real time also, those are really useful. And also everything that I told you is only for educational purpose. So don't bombard me with messages saying that please bypass this OTP, please bypass this two-factor authentication sort of stuff. So I don't do those sort of stuff. If you ask them, I'm definitely going to block you. And if you really end up liking this video, make sure you like it and do share. This is Satvik signing off. I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.